First item for consideration this evening is P1. Alderman Wilson, will you take that?
Sure. Item P1 is Ordinance 120-0-15 regarding a zoning ordinance text amendment for payday loan establishments. And the Plan Commission and staff have recommended that the City Council adopt this ordinance to clarify the existing distance requirement between payday loan and consumer loan establishments. The proposed amendment will make it easier for potential businesses to learn about the distance requirement at the same time they find out in which district the use is allowed, which is currently only in the C2 commercial district.
It's been moved in second. I'm sorry, Bobby, did we have any sign-in? Just going to see if there are any speakers on this item. Thank you. Seeing no lights, is there all in favor of this being introduced tonight? Aye. Okay. Any opposed? For P2, Alderman Nguyen, you want to read it, and then we'll have a short presentation.
Item P2, Ordinance 121-015, zoning ordinance, text amendment regarding height requirements for planned developments in the D3 Downtown Core Development District. Plan Commission and staff recommend City Council adoption of Ordinance 121-015, a zoning ordinance text amendment to specify that for planned developments in the D3 district, the height of up to 4 stories or 40 feet, whichever is less, of parking levels may be excluded from the calculation of building height to match the current regulations in other downtown zoning districts. I move introduction.
It's been moved in second. We'll have a presentation before we vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee, good evening. This is just a brief overview of the proposed text amendment. I apologize for the colors. So these are the existing downtown height restrictions for projects that are not approved as planned development. So these are the underlying zoning restrictions. As you can see, the parking levels.
Oh, I'm sorry, the light here. No, it's not doing it. It doesn't always.
There's another switch. The bathroom switch.
Yeah. No, not that one.
There. So these are the underlying zoning restrictions on the height. As you can see, the parking levels exception for the first 4 levels of parking, if they are provided in a building, or 40 feet, whichever is less, they are exempt from the overall building height calculation in the D2, D3, and then D4 districts. However, this is what adds to the confusion because most of the projects downtown have to be approved as planned developments because based on their scale. And for planned developments, this exception does not apply to the planned developments in the D3 district. As you can see, in all other downtown districts, up to 4 levels of parking or 40 feet are exempt from the overall building height calculation. So in D1, D2, and then in the D4, regardless if there is residential or non-residential. The yellow color represents the additional height allowance that can be allowed by the City Council on top of what the underlying zoning allows. So what this really means is that the code allows for taller buildings on the periphery, which is the downtown D4 transitional district, as opposed to the D3, which is the core downtown district that's basically centered around the Davis Street stations. So basically what staff is proposing is to add the same type of exception that is currently applied to other downtown districts to the D3 district. So for the first 4 levels of parking or 40 feet, whichever is less, to be exempt from the overall parking calculation. We believe that this would add to the consistent building height calculation across all downtown districts. It's also consistent with the comprehensive plan and the downtown plan that call for taller buildings and higher density within the core of the downtown rather than on the periphery. And this would also allow for a more consistent and equitable way of reviewing project across the downtown. So this is the downtown zoning map, if there are any questions on that. And at this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Alderman Fisk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As we were talking about the downtown plan, we were talking about whether or not the concept of a wedding cake made sense, and the various consultants were recommending that municipalities are moving away from the wedding cake and placing taller buildings, spacing them at slightly different locations within a downtown so that you didn't have a concentration of tall buildings right in the center. The concern for my ward is that this includes 708 Church, which is the very controversial site. When you look at where D3 is, it's kind of weaving around the center of the downtown. So I'm not sure. This appears to be a housekeeping matter. But I think it has greater ramifications than that. So it's not something I can support at this moment.
Alderman Wilson.
All right, could you just go back to, let's look at this first slide. Okay, and then okay, and then you go back to the zoning map. All right, thanks.
Any other lights? Any other comments? It's been moved and second. All in favor of introducing this, say aye. Any opposed? So, no, that's one no. Thank you. Okay, Alderman Rainey? Oh, no, I'm sorry, Alderman Fisk. It would be on you, P3.
Ordinance 131-015, granting an extension to a special use for a single-family detached dwelling at 1513 Greenleaf. City staff recommends adoption of Ordinance 131-015 to extend the time to begin renovation for a single-family detached dwelling originally approved in November 2014. Ordinance 131-015 grants approval to obtain a building permit and begins construction by June 24th, 2016. It's for introduction. I move introduction.
Second.
It's been moved and second. We have one speaker, and we'll take that before we take discussion
Sure.
from the council. Alderman Brathwaite.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Just on behalf of the resident, he's asking for more time due to personal reasons, and so I am familiar with the project in my ward. I haven't heard any complaints from any of the residents, so hopefully we can move to suspend the rules on this particular item and move forward with giving him the time that he needs to complete the project.
Second.
Second. Alderman Wilson.
I was just going to move to suspend the rules.
Oh, okay. No, seeing no other lights. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. I think that concludes our business for this evening in Planning and Development. Council meeting should start in 5 minutes, 10 minutes? 10 minutes. It's been moved and second to adjourn.